Well, hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us on Logistics Executive TV. So it's that time of year again, and in Down Under in Australia, we've got the year's largest event in logistics and supply chain, CMAT, which I had the great pleasure of being heavily involved in last year. And we've got the commercial director for CMAT for Hannover Fairs and Deutsche Messe, Mike Nissen. Mike, thanks so much for taking a few minutes out of your day to join us.
And thank you, Logistics Executive, as usual, a good partner with the event.
Brilliant, Mike. It's a big event. The last one we had at the Olympic Stadium in Sydney was a full-on 3-day event. It was a little bit like a cricket test. Tell us a little bit about this year's event and when it's on and what some of the features of the event are going to be, Mike.
Yeah, sure. So it's double the size of
Wow.
Sydney 2023. So CMAT Australia alternates between Sydney and Melbourne. So Melbourne last year we saw, a vast amount of growth, and now a vast amount of growth again for CMAT 2025 Sydney, and that pretty well much doubles the size of the event from 2023. So it's really good to see, the result of, I guess, this market in Australia that's burgeoning at the moment with automation in the supply chain and logistics space.
Yeah, brilliant. And so what are you actually doing? I suppose this is just a sidebar question for me on the technical side. How are you getting twice as many exhibitors into that hall? Because it was massive as it is. Are you needing to stretch it out to another venue?
Yeah. No, that hall has enough growth for this event for
Okay.
the short foreseeable future. I think if we, continue on this growth trajectory as such, that we are going to outgrow it maybe in 2027 or after 2027 anyway. But for the time being, there is enough space there, and we have reserved enough space for the future editions. It's just been amazing to see, the interest from not only Asia, China in particular, the Southeast Asian countries, and now we're actually seeing a lot more interest from the US and Europe as well. Of course, there's always the European and Chinese brands that are present at the show, but we're also seeing the new brands come into the market wanting to establish themselves. Australia, I think, Australia and New Zealand as such, is seen as, whilst it's not a large market as such, it is an advanced market. And I think that's where this drive and this growth is coming from. That, we all know that our population is not a large population. We have a particular amount of labour force issues, and automation is the answer, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, it was what I liked about the last one we did, 2023, the combination with the Supply Chain Logistics Association of Australia. So you teamed up with them, which is your typical model for Deutsche Messe, Hannover Fairs around the APAC region, and you guys clearly are the major player in events, certainly in Australasia. So that combination was good. The agenda items were really strong. Talk to us a little bit about some of the content and some of the conferencing agenda and panel discussions are likely to be about.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we work really closely with the Supply Chain and Logistics Association of Australia. They are the preeminent association in this market, with a huge member base, extremely well respected. Have great programs in place, to promote the industry, promote jobs, promote growth, promote education. And some of those topics will be in that space, but also with some of our exhibitors and our thought leaders in terms of where the industry is growing. We know that AI is always in the back of everyone's, I guess, growth and efficiency plans, and how, I guess, we can practically put those in place for whether it be manufacturers or box movers or importers, whatever it may be.
Yeah, good stuff. I've got to say, to be quite honest, the buzz around, and I think partly it was to do with the venue, but also just the mixture of exhibitors that you had and the expo side of it, was this a constant buzz. It was rowdy. And I think that comes down also to the fact that a lot of the Aussie companies and the Aussies, there was a lot of networking going on, maybe because it was just past COVID time, and people were just really, really keen to reconnect. And I expect that that's going to be that whole community and reconnection right across the supply chain logistics space would be expected again. Yeah. Great for networking.
Absolutely. And I also think as well, our move from the Sydney CBD, so the ICC or the International Convention Centre, out to Sydney Olympic Park, which is really close to the centre of Sydney, which is close to the manufacturing and logistics and DC centre of Sydney. You know, there's lots of intermodal there. We know that the new Aerotropolis out at Kemps Creek's just about to be finished. You know, we've got tours going on this year of some really cool DCs that have just come online as well. So yeah, there's lots going on, and the importance of being in the right zone or area for the event is critically important as well.
Brilliant. And the location is so easily serviced now. There's great public transport out there. It is a city and around a city. Back in the day, it was like quite a way out of Sydney. Now it's the dead centre of Sydney geographically. So a lot of ease of egress there as well. Mike Nissen, commercial head of Deutsche Messe Hannover Fairs with the SCLAA, Supply Chain Logistics Association of Australia, for CMAT in Australia, which is, and again, the dates in July, I think 22 to 24 in July.
Yeah, 22nd to the 24th of July at Sydney Olympic Park. So, yeah, cmat.com.au's got all the information, all the exhibitors, the program, everything. Yeah, registration's free. So, yeah.
I was just going to ask you about that. What are the ticket prices? So registration free. Your team's obviously done a very good job on exhibitors and sponsors. So we're looking forward to having a massive footfall at that event, I can assure you. I'm bringing a broader team here from the Middle East and from Southeast Asia for my team to be there. So Logistics Executive Group will be there. Logistics Executive TV will be there as well. We did about 30 interviews last time. We'll be doing even more on site and posting and keeping things buzzing during the event. Mike, thanks for joining us. I know you've got to go to another meeting. Mike Nissen, Commercial Director for Deutsche Messe Hannover Fairs. Looking forward to seeing you in Sydney in July 22-24 for CMAT Australia. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Kim, and thanks to Logistics Executive Group.
Thanks, mate.